Hey everyone, it's Alicia.
And Eddie.
Back in our channel, We2 for another Weigh-In Wednesday, or for the conclusion of our updates, which have been Whole30 Wednesdays.
The end of the Whole30 journey.
He made it.
I did it.
I didn't.
She almost did.
If you haven't been watching our updates, we have been doing the Whole30 since June 2nd. Unfortunately, I did have an event to go to last weekend, which was a bachelorette party, and honestly, it's kind of like a once-in-a-lifetime thing for one of my best friends. So I kind of knew going into it that I probably wasn't going to get all through that weekend without some non-Whole30 eating. And so by that point, I was just like, okay, I'm just off plan. So it made it more like the whole 25 for me. So, but Edwin has been champing it out. His last day is actually
today.
Yeah, he's really excited.
I thought that yesterday was day 30, but then I recalled that we started on the 2nd. And so yesterday evening, I was all prepared to like eat all the crap. And then I woke up and I was like, son of a gun.
Can't do that.
I guess it's
one more day.
Fruit and
you're almost
almond
done.
butter.
But yeah, he's done really awesome. I'm really proud of him for sticking it out the last couple days, especially without me. I'm totally eating off plan right in front of him, and so that's even harder.
Yep.
But that being said, I think that it's definitely apparent in his results versus my results that last week. I mean, I think that like if we were to continue to eat Whole30 strictly, we would both probably continue to lose almost 2 to 3 pounds every week. Because you weighed in when you started at what?
Was it 228?
230, I think.
230 when we started the Whole30. We would have to double check. But today I am 218.
So that's a huge number for just like 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I weighed in today. Last week I weighed in at I think 202 or 201, and today I'm 204. But I'm also just eating off plan right now, and I'm also in a place in my cycle where women tend to weigh more. So that makes it a little bit harder for like an accurate reading.
Truly.
But I wouldn't be surprised if that's about how much I am, just bouncing back from being on plan to going off plan.
Right.
We also did take our measurements today, and both of us had quite a bit of change. If you remember, we didn't reveal our measurements before we started.
Right.
So now we're going to put up a screen to show you just how much we lost, and here it is. So if you can't tell from the chart, or you can't really like see the difference very much, both of us lost close to a total of between like 4 and 6 inches each on our bodies during the Whole30. So it's definitely something where you can see the evidence of your diet change, not just on the scale. You can see it on your like actual body type and like your measurements as well.
Right. It definitely makes a difference too to see from beginning when we were losing weight rapidly and like losing a lot really quick to these last few weeks, especially this last week where it was a little slower.
Yeah, and that's definitely a thing your body does.
Yeah.
Like it adapts to what you're doing with it. Which actually I think can really segue us into what our plans are coming up. I mean, I know that it's kind of hard to be like, oh, okay, Whole30, where do you go from there? Like, you know, what kind of diet do you follow after?
Right.
What do you do? How do you maintain that much loss? Or wanting to lose that much weight still.
And there's a plan, like it's outlined for you in the book, but we're just trying to think of what for like the long term, what that's gonna look like for us, because I think we both really enjoyed being on the Whole30, but sustaining it and making it a sure lifestyle for us is gonna be.
Yeah, I think the main thing for us is basically just finding a good balance between like what we do think we missed on the Whole30 that we can bring back into our diets that our bodies will respond well to, and what we want to keep leaving out, and what the balance looks like as far as how much we are on plan versus how much we're not.
Right.
So I think a good rule of thumb that we've come up with is following basic paleo rules to start with. So we definitely want to do like not pretty much any sweeteners or sugars, added sugar in anything, as a basic rule for most of like the time. Like probably like 80% of our diet versus 20% might have sugar, or 90-10 even, when we're trying to be more strict. And then the rest of the items that we usually leave off during the Whole30, which are dairy, legumes, alcohol, and gluten. We
Right.
definitely want to mix that up a little bit. I know that for us, both think that dairy is something that we can integrate back into our diet, not in a major way, but in a small way, because we weren't eating that much dairy to begin with. We both like cheese though, and think that our bodies can handle and process cheese pretty well as long as we keep it pretty minimum.
Right.
So I think we are going to incorporate that back into our recipes just a little bit, because I think it's something that both of our bodies are okay to process. And just being a smidge of it, like, I'm not sure how much that'll have an effect. But at the same time, we can look back on what choices we're making right now in 2 or 3 or even 4 weeks and see if, like, the rate of weight loss has changed or we aren't feeling as good, and make another adjustment. So it's always something we can change in the future.
I know for sure right off the bat, I just can't go to that chocolate milk. It's going to be my thing.
Yeah.
That's going to be it.
Yeah.
I know it. So that's a no right off the bat.
Yeah. No, do that. Yeah.
But there are definitely times when I was like, I think just a slice of cheese would be fine. Or just
you can have, like,
not a glass of milk even. Just
cheese and maybe like a little bit of full fat Greek yogurt in like certain recipes, like in smoothies as an added protein.
I am definitely done using coconut milk in my coffee. I'm ready for whole milk now.
Yeah, and like I said, just a little bit of dairy probably isn't going to affect us that much, but we can always reevaluate. So we are going to add back in dairy. I believe we are going to add back in certain legumes and or starches. I know that corn and black beans are both things that I think we would really like to have as a part of our diet. It's not in a major way, but in a way that, like, every once in a while we could have like a piece of corn on the cob with dinner. Or we could have like maybe some corn in our salads sometimes. Same thing with black beans, like we would maybe essentially like to have some black bean salsa sometimes, or black beans in our salads.
Black bean corn salsa.
Yeah, and so I think those two things are like gonna be ones that are okay, that we feel good about adding back in.
Yeah, because there were a few times when we were getting groceries and I was just like, that corn looks so good. We
Yeah.
just barbecue it up and it'd be fine, but because it wasn't,
and it's not something, like I said, with the starch, it's not something we want to do like all the time, but it is something I think we can add in on a sparing basis. So dairy, legumes, just a little bit, and then we are going to add back in quinoa, which is not allowed on the Whole30 because it's essentially a gluten substitute. But I think our bodies process quinoa really well, and I think it's a really good alternative to having like cilantro lime cauliflower rice, which we've been having a lot. I think it just varies up our menu a little bit more and gives us a little more leeway to change things up.
It's a bit more flexible too in terms of using it as a grain.
Yeah, exactly. So those are the few things that I think we're going to add back in based on our experience with Whole30. Like I said, if we're seeing that our weight loss slows way down because of that, or we are not feeling very good because of it, we always have the room to just eliminate them again. And again, we are going to be going with kind of an 80%, 20% rule. So that might look like for us that Monday through Friday we eat completely like on plan, like almost everything that we just talked about is the only thing included and nothing extra.
Right.
But it might mean for us the weekends we either cook in breakfast and lunch and then are free like after 2 o'clock or something like that, or do the opposite.
Just for dinner, or
do the opposite. We have breakfast and lunch out, and then have dinner at home.
Right.
Something of that nature, so that on weekends we are able to like relax a little bit, maybe have one meal where it's out, like, and we're going out to eat or going like to a movie and actually getting to have like a small portion of something sweet.
Right.
I think that's really important to find a balance in, because right now going off plan, I think it's easy to just be like all the things and fall really back into it. And what I'd like to really do is learn how to regulate the fact that like I could have this much piece of cake and be fine.
Right.
So that's something, like a skill that I really want to use my Whole30 experience to help me develop.
I agree. And along the lines of like going to movies and stuff, I think I'm totally fine not snacking anymore. I mean, there was a time when we were, before Whole30, when we were having a mid-afternoon snack. We were having like a smoothie or something before lunch. Or we were trying to do something like that. But I think I'm definitely fine just sticking to the 3 meals and seeing how that goes.
Same. I actually have been really satisfied and much better throughout the day with how I'm eating if I only have the 3 meals a day instead of like
grazing.
Little. And I know that that's, there's a big like divide on that in the weight loss world of like what's better. But for me, I'm noticing that the 3 meals worked way better. The grazing was harder to stay on track as far as like how much we were eating versus eating just the 3.
Right.
So that brings us, like I said, to next week. We are going to be pretty much off plan starting tomorrow for him, and I'm already there until we come back on Sunday night from being out of town for the 4th of July.
Yeah.
And then Monday, my plan is to have pretty much everything ready to go to be on plan again. One thing I do want to do is start changing up our recipes a little bit. We've been having pretty much like scrambled eggs with veggies for the last 4 weeks.
All the veggies.
Solid. And I really want to start changing it up a little bit. I'm hoping that bringing a few more ingredients into our salads will really help those change up a bit, because I do like a big salad in the middle of the day. But otherwise, I just want to continue down that road, the same path we've been on. Fitness-wise, I've been having a really hard time using my ClassPass and getting there. I've been traveling and having a hectic summer. Is the worst for me for workouts, actually, but I really do want to keep getting to the gym. I think that's a piece that I could be amping up quite a bit to really increase my weight loss. I am a little concerned that I'm going to plateau right now at like 204, 205, like 203, where I had been at like 211 for a long time. Mm-hmm. So that's one thing I really want to use fitness to kind of like blast through. And by September, I would really like to be at like the 195 mark for sure.
So that is it for our Whole30 journey.
Yay!
It was definitely an experience.
And it was totally worth it. If you guys are considering it, we really highly recommend it.
Definitely. Make sure to give the video a like if you like it. Thank you again for all the comments and for all the support and emails and recipes and ideas and
you guys have been awesome throughout the whole thing.
And acknowledgement. Yeah, we really do. I appreciate you guys sticking with it with us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it for this week. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye. Bye.